Hello everybody and welcome back to Aurora 4X. I of course am Sir Beardian, and today we are going to see about designing us some more offensive warships. Something that can go out and poke things instead of being on the defensive.
Something that makes inappropriate racial jokes at parties.
Exactly. So, what we are currently aiming for is our beam fire control range, so we can get some longer range on our fire controls without needing to go 4 times size. Our tracking speed of 4,000 should give us some decent turreting, and our research rate will help a lot. And that looks like they're going to be done research rate, then fire control and turret tracking speed around the same time. Our industry is struggling because of our duranium shortages, which is a little bit annoying, but we did expand a little bit from Euphorosny. Is that actually flinging anything yet? It is. Okay, good. So hopefully that won't be too much of a concern. Not actually sure what I told them to do, but oh well. Okay. Alright, so we do have camels sitting on Melbourne at the moment to act as a jump tender for our task force, because we do have aliens who are definitely somewhere around Melbourne. We can pretty much guarantee that they're going to be there. Most likely they're going to be sitting on the Perth jump point, because they built a jump gate here, so there's probably going to be a jump gate builder on the other side. And we have our second survey fleet, which is probably going to run into them when it does the transit through the Melbourne jump point. So we can expect to run into those guys sooner rather than later. Shipyard's running. Our consumption is expected at 18,000. I think we are actually starting to build stockpile at the moment, because we're not getting complaints yet. 45 up to... and oh, no, not quite. Almost, not quite. Our military academy is almost done, which is going to potentially save us some mineral use. There we go. We do still have a shortage. I'm thinking I might hold off and leave that 10% unused for the time being. We'll hold off on that for now. Yeah, we still have a bit of a shortage, but our construction factories will be done soon. And we are starting production on our automated mines, which we will be able to move across to Mercury. Okay. Research rate is almost done. Next will be mining production, I believe, which will come in extremely useful. Almost, and we might need another week on top. Yeah, almost done. And done. Okay, we picked up about 1,200 points, which is not too shabby. Okay, beam fire control and turret tracking speed will be done in September. Do have a... yeah, we do have mining. That's fine. Construction factories are almost done. Okay, we're about 2 weeks away from completing the beam fire control. Almost. Do we have anything to absorb the excess? Patrick Daly, Patrick Daly. We do. The M sensitivity, that's fine. Boom. Okay. Now, let's see about a beam fire control. Okay. So, default is 3024. Now, we want probably range to be about... I think 2 might even be enough. Because what's the speed on our... Yeah, it's about 6,000, so 2, maybe even 3 might be enough. But I don't want to waste the 3 too much, so 2 should be fine. I don't expect that the aliens will have speed much faster than that. For range, 4 will be 96. What's the actual range on our railguns? What's the range in our railguns? So range in our railguns is 60,000. So 100. Yeah, so 60,000 on the railguns. And what about lasers? 180. So we can get good range on those. We can get good range. So speed will be 2 times, and range will be 3 times. That gives us 140,000 kilometers. That's not too shabby. We could go for 4 times, which is only 50 extra tons, and will give us pretty reasonable improvement. I think this might be enough. 50 tons is not too much, and this is a good amount. So this is what we're going to go for at the moment. Okay, so that's a beam fire control. That was loud. We already have our railgun, so let's also do a laser. Hang on, do we have any tech coming in for a laser? No, I don't think so. Near ultraviolet. 10 second for 60, or we could shave 1 hull size per laser. No, this is fine. We can even go spinal to get it up to 9 damage. Now, is that going to be worth it? So 6 is 4 layers deep. 9 will be 5 layers deep. So that will give us a whole extra layer of penetration. And realistically speaking, we're going very hull mounted at the moment. So the 19 centimeter, in a whole extra layer of penetration for just an extra 5 seconds fire rate. Our railguns are going to be the fast firing. Well, not really, because they're about the 15 seconds anyway. So yeah, no, we'll go for the laser. The other thing to consider as well is, if you have a look, right, power requirement is 9, but recharge rate is 4. So we can actually drop our recharge rate to 3, save a fair amount of cost. So notice it goes from 36 to 27, so there's about 9 cost in there that we're saving. Both germanium, boronite, and corundium. So the whole laser is cheaper, but we don't lose fire rate because we're aligning the recharge rate to the recharge requirement. So 4 is more than we need, right? 3 is fine. So 19 centimeter C3, that's not too shabby. We'll make that. Okay, so that is our weaponry. It also reduces the amount of power you need out of your reactors as well, which is extremely useful. So energy weapon, and we are going to go for the C3 laser, Q top, and then kinetics. We're going to go, hang on, where's our railgun? No, it's not a railgun. What did we just design? Fire control. Right. Fire control, there it is. Q top. Actually, no, we're going to have to Q fresh. Yeah, 65, okay. No, we'll do the logistics guy, because he's kind of worthless elsewhere. Sensitivity. Nice, that's a strength and sensitivity. That'll give us better active sensors. And entry weapon, yeah, because we're almost done anyway, so the laser is not too far off. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Construction factory is done. Okay, this should allow us to start building up a stockpile. And we're done with the turret, so let's go have a look at our turret design now. So now we get a tracking speed of 4,000 per 10%. So, hang on, what's the fastest tracking speed for that we can get? 12,000. So 12,000 is what we want. 12,000 turret. And we're going to go for twin 85s. Now, triple 85s are not too bad either, but it's minimal benefit. So 15s we lose very little. We lose like less than 1% of rotation gear out of the turret. So between twin and triple, there's very little actual difference. It is a fair bit cheaper though, but the turret is stronger as well. That's the other issue. Twins or triples? Twins or triples? 9 shots. So this will give us 18 shots for dual turret, because I prefer to run 2 turrets per fire control. So this will give us 18 shots per fire control compared to 12 shots. 18 is more likely to match a salvo. So yeah, all right, we're going to run triples. Good. We are also, of course, going to need our point defense fire control, which has maximum speed. And let's go 2 times range. Around 100,000 kilometers max range is roughly optimal for a point defense, because like at the moment, right, we have a 10% chance to hit at point blank fire. If we double from 4 to 8, so if we double, then we only have a 5% chance to miss. It's not hit. 5%. So we halve our penalty from 10 to 5, but we double our hull size, and we're going to need a reasonable amount of these. So 2 is going to be fine. Actually, I'm going to just rename this to be the PD fire control. There we go. And we shall delete that one and put that one up top. Okay, and missiles and kinetics. All turrets are energy weapons. So even though it's a Gauss turret and a kinetic turret, it's still considered an energy weapon. So we're going to stick that on top Q. Alright, we are getting a significant good amount. Okay, so our laser is done. Good. Laser turret is underway. Fire control is almost done. Alright, so we are starting to build up a stockpile. That's a good amount of mineral use, which is fine. So we're going to have to start building up a stockpile so we can build our ships. So fire control is almost done. There we go. So our first fire control is ready. Our point defense fire control is being researched now. Our triple Gauss turret is getting close to the completion of design. much is the Quakka 2? I still haven't renamed it, by the way. 7,000 tons? Okay, up this to 7,000. Alright, gas turret is done. Okay. Good. So we can give you back your labs. He's up at 10% for fire controls. That gives us a 40% bonus. If once he gets up to 15%, that will give us a 60% bonus. And then we can swap him across and we can give him his line back. Alright, fire control is done. Good. So now we're going to swap the 5,000 fire control for the 6,000 fire control, which is this one. So it's got the same tonnage, but it has significantly better range, and it allows us to take full effect, or almost full effect, of the tracking speed. We have our railguns and our new power plants. We have our best armor. We have our ion engine. We have our basic search sensor, which we might want to improve at some point, but that's fine. We have plenty of maintenance. We have plenty of fuel. We have plenty of deployment time. We have a good chunk of armor. This is overall a very reasonable ship. Even for offense, really. Even for offense, this is a very reasonable ship. I'm wondering though whether we might want to swap one of the railguns for a laser. So laser is 6, railgun is 6. So same tonnage and actually less power. So yeah, we're gonna run one laser. So 3 railguns, 1 laser. Laser is for the deep penetrating hit. Railgun is to shave off that armor. So nice ship, very nice ship. I like this. And also for pew pew. Because we have a range of 200,000, so you never know. Because we'll be able to outrange anybody who's running railguns themselves, so we can pew pew them with the laser, and then once they're crippled or once they're weakened, we can close in and just railgun them to death. Anyway, this is a nice ship. We'll see how we do on the design. So Lieutenant Commander. Yep, that's fine. And we're going to run the Navy patrol vessels. That's fine. What's the price difference? About double. So it's about twice as expensive. So that's pretty significant jump. But it makes sense. It's got much better, newer technology. It's got new engine. It's got it's got better railguns. It's got a laser. It's got better fire control. It's got better reactor technology. It's got better everything. So, yeah. Okay. Last thing, I'm wondering, because we need to wait for this thing to ramp up, so that we can build the new one. Okay. Last thing we want is to get our sensor technology so that we can second survey. What's second survey doing? Yep, there it is. Hang on, how did it not see the giant freaking gate builder? Must be because we skipped over him too fast. Oh well, they're gonna show up eventually, and we're gonna see them. We're gonna see them here, no matter what. Okay. Yeah. So active sensor is what we're gonna go for. How's our wealth? Okay, we can actually talk about wealth now. So, as you can see, Earth is producing entertainment products and infrastructure. Alright, it has a surplus and available for export for entertainment products. Luna is producing luxury food, and it has a small surplus. It also has a deficit of entertainment products. Mars is producing furs and precious metals. And of course it has the infrastructure, but it's using its own. So that's why it's not available for export. And of course it has a deficit of entertainment products and luxury food. So between these three, so Luna is going to be providing the other Mars and Australia with luxury food. Mars is going to be providing the other two with furs and precious metals, and Australia is providing entertainment products. And between these three, our civilians are basically going to be running around transporting these things to each other. And in doing so, they are going to be generating wealth. And you can see trade goods, there's one of furs. So they're mainly still shipping infrastructure, because infrastructure takes, I believe, a little bit of priority over actual normal regular trade goods. But they are still shipping generic trade goods as well. But these guys, I believe, yeah, they don't really seem to be doing much with their freighters. These guys are shipping like entertainment products, luxury food, furs. These guys are shipping a lot of the luxury stuff. They're not shipping very much infrastructure. These guys are almost entirely running colonists. I'm not sure how, considering they've got a lot of freighters, but they're almost running entirely colonists. And these guys are, they have one colony ship that's it's running colonists. It's fine. We can actually. Yeah, we have both set to source. Where the hell are they running colonists though? Because all of them are source of colonists. Maybe they're just shipping them back and forth. Ah well. Whatever works for you. Okay, we do have a couple of automated mines. We have 6 of them. So we can probably get cargo to ship those. Load automated mines. Unload automated mines. And repeat twice. I'm still waiting to see when they're going to rock up at any of these jump points. Grav sensor strength is almost ready. We also have sensitivity to get up as well. We're at a stockpile of 635 at the moment, which is good. We also have a tonnage of 12,000 here and 16,000 here for our warships. Grav sensor strength is almost done. There we go. Last thing is EM sensitivity, and then we can start. We can get a better active sensor. And Medusa's launcher 33 is also almost done. So we can start thinking about getting missiles as well. And I know a few of you are going, oh, missiles are boring, but missiles are also incredibly complex, flexible, and useful. And they definitely have a very useful use. They are very useful things to have. And understanding how they work can also help you defend against them as well. So that is something that we are going to be doing at some point. We're going to go with guns first and foremost. Sensor sensitivity is almost done. Come on. Almost. Almost. There we are. Okay. Now, first things first, for the... We're going to need something to replace it. How big is the current one? There it is. It's a size 2. We can potentially fit an extra... Yeah, we can fit one more. Yeah, so we can fit. So we're going to go for size 3. So 3 hull size, and resolution we're going to go with 40. Search sensor, no hardening, max strength. So even if we went with a size 2, you can see that we would go from 4.5 million. Hang on. 4.5 million up to 6.5 million. So we're gaining 2 million kilometers range on what we had before. But with size 3, that goes up to just shy of 10 million. And then if we double the tonnage, we now get 13 million. So we're going to get some reasonable detection range on the actives. So we are going to create that. We also want a more dedicated sensor platform. So how much our actual component is weaponry? Let's have a look. So we have a size of 18 for our railguns. We have a 6 for our laser, so that is 24. And then 3.6 for the power plant. That's 27.5. And then another 4 for the fire control. That's about 30. So 32 hull size we can afford to run active sensor. What does that give us? A 32 size active sensor gives us a detection of 145 million kilometers. Now, if we up this to say size 80, that gives us 200 million kilometers detection. That's pretty nice. It is expensive though. It's 3,800 and it's 384 iridium. Got a lot of build costs and a fair amount of crew. But I think we can probably afford that. I don't know if I want to make it that big though. I'm wondering whether it might be worthwhile to get a combination sensor. So, because we do need an anti-missile sensor. So if we drop it to say size 24, that gives us 150 million kilometers on this detection. And then what was it? With 32, so 24, 32 gives us 6.8. So we can do a size 8, resolution 1. That gives us 600,000 kilometers minimum detection for missiles. That's actually a little bit on the low side. 6,000. So, reading missile detection. So, a size 6 missile, anything smaller than a size 6 missile is regarded as a size 6 missile in terms of detection. So, this is the absolute maximum, the minimum range that you will be able to detect anything. But everything runs at 5 seconds. So if we pop open our calculator again, so we have 627 to 264, divide that by 5. So that means that we will be able to detect any missile traveling slower than 125,000 kilometers a second. And still shoot at it for point defense. Yeah, I don't think we're going to run into any missile traveling that quickly. So this would actually be a suitable anti-missile system. Yeah, so that's fine. That's fine. This will work. Okay. So sensors and fire control. We are going to run our 3 sensors. I suppose we can give it to them now. Yeah, might as well put them to use. So we're going to give you this, and this, and this. And then we're going to give you yeah, might as well give you that. Okay. So that will give us a fair amount of so that'll give us our sensors, and we are going to be building a version of our Type 2 Quakka for that runs on sensors. Okay, let's keep on keeping on. Alright, first sensor is almost done. Alright, there we go, done. So that is this one, and I think what I might do, so let's swap that out real quick, 6950, and we're swapping it out for this one, which brings it up to 7,000. A nice even 7,000. Perfect, that is fine. Really, that's what they're called. Okay, sure. Sorry, you'll see in a second. So this is pretty much done, actually. Yeah, the ship is done. Okay. And we're going to rename it with the Potteroo. So apparently there is a colony of quokkas that coexist with a critically endangered species called the Gilbert's Potteroo. So that's a quokka, adorable little bastards, and that's a Gilbert's Potteroo. So there you go. So we're going to call it the Potteroo, and this is what we are going to be revamping the quokkas with. First things first, let's go ahead and build some ion combat drives. Now there's only one of them per Potteroo, I believe. Yep, only one. So it is vulnerable to engine damage, which is a problem, but that's fine. And let's run 10 of these guys. Okay, so that's our iron combat drives. That runs on Gauss site, so we can just pump it up to max straight away, because that's not going to eat into our duranium reserves. We also want our railguns, which uses almost nothing of duranium. We're going to need 30 of those. We're going to need our laser, so we're going to need 10 of those. We are going to want our Res 40 sensor, 10 of those. Our fire control, 10 of those. Our gas-cooled 40p reactor. How many of these do we have? 4 of them. So we're going to need 40 of those. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Okay. So that will chug along. That should all finish by the time our Jordan Walters designs shipyard is done. And we'll have our sensors by then as well. Okay, nuclear ship. I really want this guy to get up to improve his research pretty as fast as possible. Okay, our Res 1 sensor is almost done, so we can think about designing our point defense ship. Okay, let's work on that, shall we? So, think 6 layers should be fine. We need it to be tough and strong. Do we have a point defense? Only a base. Escort cruiser? It's not really going to be a cruiser. Just escort is fine. Okay. So, do we actually have our Gauss turret yet? Yes, we do. Okay. 6 triple Gauss turrets. Nice. Do we have a point defense fire control? Yes, we do. 3 of those. 8,600 tons. Not too shabby. We are going to need our Res 1 sensor as soon as that's ready. We'll come back to that one in a moment. Our ion combat drive gives us up to 3,700. We need 2 of those. 6,000. Nice. And engineering spaces. That's pretty good. Feather rate isn't too bad, and we have more than double our max repair, which is fine. I want bonus damage control ratings because I want this to be able to fix itself fast if necessary. Okay. And we're going to need some fuel. 4 lodges. That's actually quite a bit. But that's doable. That's a very reasonable point defense ship, actually. Oh, hi there!
Hi, Mark.
There you are, you little bastard. No wonder it didn't ping it. We're not hostile to him at the moment. Okay. We cannot let them... We cannot afford to let them build that jump gate. I do not want them building that jump gate. Transit, actually. Camel. Refuel from target fleet. And we're going to do a standard transit. And when that's done, we are going to take ourselves out one of these bastards. Okay. And if they come at us, well, that's something we're just going to have to deal with. Alright, so we've got 16,000 tons on Weissman Heavy. Is that enough for this thing? No, we need to shave 350 tons. Alright, where are we going to shave 350 tons? We could shave it out of fuel. But that would mean cutting it in half. And I'd rather not do that. 3 large tanks is also quite vulnerable, so I might actually drop that to... Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, if we drop the armor rating to 5, that brings us under 16,000. 12 billion kilometers over 25 days. Plenty of deployment time and repair time. Speed is reasonable, 5,500. What's our Potteroo at? 62. So it's a little bit slower than a Potteroo, but it is larger, so it's okay. And that gives us 6x9 shoot down capacity. That's I bit higher than 45. 54. 54 missiles. Up 2. Not too bad. That could work. That's fine. That is perfectly reasonable. 2600 build points is also perfectly reasonable as well. And plenty of damage control in case it does actually take damage. This is a very nice ship. I am going to tool up for the Waller, which is actually not a bad name because, you know, it's like an anti-missile ball. But it will cancel the slip yard, and that is very, very close. All right, we're going to wait for the slip yard to finish. That's in November. That's the end of the year. That will also give us a bit of time to build up some of our components here. So I want 2 of them so we can cover 100 missiles. So that means 6 of our point defense fire controls. And 6, 12... And how many are there? We want 2. There are 3 times 2. There's 6 turrets. That's 12. 12 point defense turrets. We also have... How many engines do we have on that thing? We have 2 engines. So we want... Jack this up by 4, up to 10. Done. We don't have our Res 1 detector at the moment. Where is that? Did it actually get finished or not yet? I think it did get finished. Can we bolt that in? Fire control, active sensor. Yeah. Not quite. I really don't like having a point defense ship with no ability to detect its own missiles. I really do not like that at all. That could work. Cuts the range a lot shorter than I would like, though. Unless we drop another layer of armor. Yeah, because armor is really heavy at the moment. 16,000 tons, perfect. That's perfect. That'll do just fine. We have good redundancy on our fuel. We have a second engine that's spare if need be. We got good damage control to fix a spare engine if necessary. We have double the repair, so we can repair at least 1 engine. We have good point defense capability. This is a nice ship. We'll take it. Doesn't have the armor I want, but we'll take it because we need it. So as soon as that's done, we're going to tool it up for a Waller. Hopefully these things will be done. I mean, it's not as essential because we do have railguns on our, on our everything right now, and railguns serve as pretty reasonable. It's just that they have the much faster tracking speed, which is going to be much more useful, at least initially. So, railguns, fire control, yep, done, perfect. Let's keep on going. I don't think we're going to take too long to get the Quokkas over there. Yep, they are done. Okay. Before anything else, just so I don't colossally cock anything up, I'm going to take a backup of the game. For anyone interested, this here, stevefire.mdb, this is the game database. Everything is saved in here. So if you want to make a backup of a save file, all you have to do is make a copy of it. So there it is. To load a game, all you have to do is just rename whatever your backup was to Steve Fire and just run that. Fairly straightforward, not what I meant to click. Okay. Let's have ourselves a war. We're up to 222. Really unfortunate because they're giving us trade access. I don't think they're going to be too happy about this. All right. Combats. Let's talk combat. Now, first and foremost, you'll notice that a ship is up at 2,000 grade points. We didn't start at this level. This is because, as you can see, we would have started around 500. That's because the Calgary and the Canada have probably an amazing officer with a high training grade. So he's jacked up those grade points up to 2,000. And that gives us a grade bonus of 34%, which is pretty amazing. Lock weapon. So to run combat, let's talk combat first. Sync fire on and off for the fleet. Synchronous fire, any ship in the fleet that is set to synchronize fire will wait until every other ship with synchronized fire is ready to fire. So you do have firing delay for lower trained crews, where basically they hold off on shooting until they are ready to shoot. Synchronous fire is much more important for missile ships. Laser ships, you don't really care to fire all together. You want to get the shots off basically as soon as possible, as soon as they're ready. But missiles, you want to be launched at the same time. So you definitely want synchronized fire for your missiles. This tick box here will eliminate non-hostile entities from the targeting system. So if you have... if you're trying to shoot something and it doesn't appear, and you know that it should be detecting it, you want to make sure that that's unticked, so that it'll show neutral targets as well. Current and max shields, current and max speed, available required power, casualties and total crew, grade points, crew morale, grade bonus. Fairly straightforward, exactly what it says on the tin. This is power output, by the way. I think. Automated fire. Automated fire is a system that will automatically allocate weapons to your fire controls and automatically fire them as appropriate. Automated fire is also got dropped on its head at birth several times, repeatedly, before being punted down a field. So it is extraordinarily stupid. Do not rely on it. Do not trust on it. The only time it is anywhere remotely reliable is in a setup like this, where you have multiple weapons and only one single beam fire control. If you have point defense, do not use automated fire. If you have mixed multiple fire controls, do not use automated fire. If you're using missiles, really shouldn't be using automated fire. It is not smart, it's not clever, it is bare bones, and it will screw you way more than it will help. So, use it at your own risk. Synchronous fire here toggles it for the ship only. These two buttons here will contacts targeted by fire controls and current task group flag with T. So basically, if you tick this, this will mark a T if there is any fire control in the task group that has weapons locked. And this is if you have any ship in the, well, anywhere that has weapons locked. So you can, so if you have like 20 contacts and you can't remember which one's locked, you can target one and then it'll have a T next to it so you know whether to shoot it or not. So that's useful for you there. This here is the missiles in flight, so this will show you every missile basically anywhere and everywhere that you have out in flight. It'll show you the name, what type of missile it is, where it's launched from, where it's going, how long it has, the range to target if it has a target, and time to target if it has a target. You can select the salvo and hit destroy to force it to self-destruct immediately, or you can self-destruct all missiles. We don't have any missiles in flight because we haven't even designed any, so obviously it's blank. Okay, meat of things. So first, let's start from the left. So in order to select, hang on. Active sensors on. Thank you. So in order to select the target, hang on. Thank you. In order to select the target, you first of all need a target in the list. You need weapons assigned to fire controls, and then give them the order to open fire. So you start off by selecting your fire control. Then you select the weapons. You can drag and drop. You can click on one. You can even shift click or control click. So you have all the various standard office functions to select your weapons. So you select the weapons you want to assign to the fire control and you hit assign. Or in a situation like this, you can just assign all. Okay. If you have a missile launcher as the weapon, you select the missile in your magazine and you assign that to the weapon. Obviously there's none left, so it'll just throw an error. I don't want to break the game, so there we are. But you can assign launcher to the missile and it'll show you what it is. If you have an ECCM, they appear here. You select it, click on your fire control and hit assign to assign it, and it'll show down here. This is your summary. This tells you everything what your weapons are actually doing. So we're going to lock targets on the Berserker. There we go. You see here how it's HF. That means it's holding fire. You can also set a fire control mode to point defense mode. So you have none, in which case it will not fire on missiles. You have area defense, which will fire on any missile within range of the fire control, no matter how far out it is. As long as it's within weapons range, of course. Area defense is the only one that this actually cares about. So you can reduce the range of your fire control if you don't want to be firing when it's at like 2% chance to hit. Final defensive fire will protect any ship in the same location. So as it stands, because Soul Guard and Survey Fleet are in the same location, final defensive fire will also protect the Berk. So if a missile were to fly at the Berk, these would also fire on that missile. Final defensive self only. Now, I haven't actually tested it, and if I have, I can't remember it, but I believe it will either defend only the ship itself, so it'll basically act as a CIWS, or it will defend only the task group that it's in. So basically, if we set it to final fire self only, the Berk can go suck missile. These guys won't care. So you can set mode there, and it will tell you whether it's on defensive fire or not. Now, you'll notice that although we have set the Calgary, the Canada is, well, the Canada has its weapons allocated, but no target, and the Collingwood doesn't even have its weapons allocated, neither does the Quokka or the Wolf. So that you don't have to do everything yourself, because at the moment it's easy, right? Assign all, done. But when you have like 20 weapons and 5 fire controls and 14 targets and all your ECCMs, it can get extraordinarily micro. And that brings us to these buttons down here. These are copy assignments. So this will copy weapons assignment to fire control to all ships of the same class in task group, in system, and everywhere. Okay, it doesn't copy the target, it just copies the assignment. So if we hit copy here, you'll notice that, well, Canada's already assigned, but now the Collingwood, the Quokka, and the Wolf also have their railguns assigned the same as the Calgary. It has not assigned target. That is here. It's exactly the same class and target and class and system. So if we now copy class and target in TG, you'll notice that the Canada, Collingwood, Quokka, and Wolf are all targeting the Berserker. Multiple targets, same location is similar, except if there were like 5. So if there were 5 targets and we wanted each ship to target a different target, you would hit same location, and that would cause each fire control to try and pick a target that hasn't been targeted by another fire control. So you can use it to scatter your fire without going click, 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 and it saves a lot of clicks. So now that we have all of our weapons locked, last thing is we're going to cover this. So fire controls for current fire control. So this gives you direct control of the selected fire control, open fire, cease fire. Shield control, raise and lower. This is for the ship only. Sensors, turn active sensors on and off for the ship only. And for the current fleet, open fire, cease fire, and auto fire. This will set it to automated fire on all your fleets, so bad idea. But open fire, cease fire, so you don't have to go to each individual ship and tell it to open fire individually. So, all ships, weapon lock, open fire. And we are going to also set our initiative up to 203 so it follows everything. And we are going to get it to follow at point blank range. Now, you'll notice that the contact has updated because our active sensors have turned on. And if we go have a look at our log, we can see that sensor data, which we now have, reveals that it has a cross-section of 1463 hull sides and a tonnage of 73,150. That's a huge bitch.
That's a huge bitch.
We also have thermal, because we've set it to hostile contact, we also updated the thermal detection. So we can see that the cross-section is 1463. It's a Berserker class. Now, we have allocated that name to it. That's not necessarily what it's actually called from their point of view. And it has a thermal signature of 2399. Now, because we haven't actually seen it move, we don't know how fast it is. Or do we? Let's go have a look. Now, we know several ship types. So we know the Heimdall, and we know that it has resolution 86 and 20 active sensors. So that must have been the sensor ship that we spotted much earlier. We can see that with a resolution of 20, it will be able to easily detect our quokkas and stuff like that from about 25 million kilometers away. The Gotterdammerung is also a sensor boat, and it looks like it's running the same sensors as the Heimdall, although not necessarily the resolution 12s. Maybe. It might still be running them, but it's only running the standard ones. Hell, we don't know what it is. We didn't get an EM contact or an active contact or even a thermal signature, and we haven't even seen it move. Actually, we haven't seen it move. This might be the base that we saw. Same with the Vithar. That could be a base because we didn't see it move. Doesn't seem to have a thermal signature though. And of course, the Berserker. So we have the cross-section, estimated tonnage, thermal signature. Now, we estimate the speed of 1639 based on tonnage by thermal signature. So if it has unshielded engines, it should have a top speed of 1639. But we haven't seen it actually move, so we don't actually know for sure. We've never shot it, so we don't know what their shield strength is, or if they even have one. And we've never seen it regenerate shields, so we don't know what their recharge rate is. We've also never shot it, so we don't know what their armor rating is. And we've never tried to shoot it yet. Give it a sec. So we don't know if it actually has an ECM. Estimated jump distances for hyperdrive, that doesn't exist anymore, so we don't need that. And we can also put notes as well. So we can put a note there. It's a very small one, but oh well. We don't have a class design summary because we haven't taken one apart or stole the design yet. And we can see that there's only one single active contact for the Berserker. And this is the current, and this is all contacts. Okay. So, that is the ship intelligence. So, current diplomatic rating is 222. Let's see how much we piss them off. 5 seconds. Preparing, not ready. We also see that Solgard is currently awaiting acknowledgement, and that is because we don't have full task force training on all of our ships. Now, you'll notice that we never actually did task force training. Because they're in a task force that has officers and they have commanding officers and stuff like that, this does increase naturally. So you'll see that Calgary and Quokka, which got built first, have the highest task force rating. Then the Canada, which got built second. And then the Collingwood and the Wolf have the lowest. And it does use the lowest task force rating for the entire task force. So if we were to break off the Wolf and the Collingwood into their own fleets, then the Quokka, the Canada, and the Calgary would react a lot faster to the acknowledgement. So, next 5 seconds. Still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. Alright, so orders are acknowledged. Weapons are still preparing. Did we actually tell them to open fire? Yeah, we did tell them to open fire. Almost. Almost. Almost.
Nearly. Nearly.
Almost.
There we are. Well done.
Come on. We are actually ticking, aren't we? Yeah, we are ticking. Okay. Hopefully these guys... There we go! Boom, 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 boom. We have hits. Okay. So the Calgary is still waiting to fire, because it's not ready. The Quokka and the Wolf and the Collingwood are also not ready. But the Canada... Of course, Canada is the first one to open fire, because why not? So, Canada got ready first, and it's ready, and it's opening fire. So, gives us which fire control is targeting what, and the range. Base chance to hit is 134%, and that comes from the 100% hit rate from the fire control, because we're basically directly on top of the damn thing. And then crew grade gives us a bonus of 34%. Because we have 34% crew grade on the Canada. You can see we have hits, 2 points of damage times 4, 2 points of damage times 4, 2 points of damage times 4. Because it's over 100%, we guarantee hits on every single shot. And we can see that we have 3 sets of 4 times 2 hits detected of strength 2. Berserker hit by 2 points of damage from the railgun, because of course it did. We can see that Intel Update has updated that have at least an armor strength of at least 1, because it has to be at least 1. But it also registers that we did get penetrating hits, because I believe we have a penetration of at least 2 on the 2 damage railgun, which means that if it failed to penetrate the armor, then this will be higher. So it's armor level of 1, which means it's most likely civilian. And we can see from the reports that it's streaming atmosphere. That means that we're probably breaking their crew quarters. So crew quarters being destroyed streams atmosphere. So that's the most likely thing that we're breaking. Streaming fluid is when we shatter their fuel tanks. How is our relations doing now? Still 222. Okay, they don't seem to be too unhappy about us shooting up their gate builder, I guess. Let's see what the next 5 seconds brings. Alright, so now... So we can see that their thermal signature has dropped from 2399 to 2250. So we did actually break some engines. And I think that's... No, I don't think that's crew quarters. I think it's just because it has living people on it, as opposed to being a robotic ship. So 2399. So we've knocked out an engine or 2. So we have knocked out some engines. Calgary is still... well, all the others are still waiting. So we can see that our railguns are recharging. 1 power in the capacitor, 6 power required to fire. So those railguns will need to recharge. What are those, 30 seconds? Yeah, 30 seconds. So they are very, very slow. It doesn't seem to be trying to run at the moment. We are waiting for the other ships to ready and open fire. Boom. Who's firing now? We have weapons fire from the Calgary. So the Calgary is now opening fire while the cannons are recharging. So more hits. That's another set of hits from the Canada. It's managed to recharge its power. Not all of it though, which is interesting. But we are opening fire quite heavily, and we're peppering the ship. It's losing engines pretty rapidly, so it's definitely not getting away from us, that's for sure. Alright, we are recharging. Collingwood is still readying to fire, as is the Wolf. And that as you can see, Collingwood and Wolf have the lowest task force training and also the lowest crew grade bonus. So they are, of course, going to be the last to fire. Okay. Should be almost ready. Alright, Calgary is going to be firing next. Wolf and Collingwood might join her. Oh yeah. Alright, I think that's all of them firing now. Yeah, that looks like everybody's firing now. So that's a hell of a lot of hits. Look at that. That is getting absolutely pummeled. They're very light hits, but there's a lot of them. Thankfully, it doesn't have much armor either. So, how's it doing? It's probably lost to its... nope, there it goes. Popped. So, the one Berserker class destroyed. Who gets the kill? That looks to be the Calgary, I believe. Calgary or Collingwood? Quakka! Huh! Quakka snuck in and stole the kill. Okay. Quakka has managed to snag herself a Berserker kill. That is very impressive. Alright, so now that we have destroyed the ship, we have a wreck. How pissed off are they at us? 222. I think that's our diplomatic rating. I don't know if they're too happy with us at the moment. We'll keep them as hostile for the time being. No, they're still giving us trade access. It might not update because we haven't done a production cycle yet. We'll see how we go. But yeah, so we have a wreck. We also have some life pods. So what we are going to do is we're going to get the Stole Guard. We're going to cancel the order because there's nothing for them to do. And we're going to rescue the survivors from the Berserker class life pods. We're going to transit back to Brisbane. Not Brisbane. Seoul. We're going to transit back to Seoul. And we are going to head back to refuel. Fuel's full. We're going to refuel. And yeah, we're going to do that. Now, what are you going to do with survivors? There's two things you can do with survivors. First one is you can drop them off at your colony, and basically they'll just sit there forever. You can't actually do anything with them. They'll just sit as pals for all time until you're done with the game and you move on to something new, right? So pals are basically, they do nothing if you drop them off at a colony. Oh, we need to cease fire. Yeah, so there's nothing really worth taking them to the colony for. But it's definitely worth picking them up. So let's go pick up these life pods. There we go. And we have 128 alien survivors, and they're rescued by Wolf. So, there's one other thing that you can do with survivors. And that is, eject them into space. As it stands, we are way over our crew capacity. So we have 147 crew and 128 pals. So we have almost 1 POW for every crew member. That is going to put a serious load on our life support, and that it will start causing life support failures. Now, they will be automatically fixed by MSP as long as we have some available. But the much faster solution is to just vent them into space. Once they've been picked up, you get all the intelligence points from interrogation immediately, and they do remain forever. You don't lose them by venting the POWs, so there is literally no punishment or negative effect whatsoever for venting POWs into space. None at all. Completely 100% free and clear. You can be as cruel as you want. Out they go. But I think I would like to actually run a slightly more ethical game this time around. So I will be dropping them off. I suppose we can always use them as trophies. So we're going to send them home. Now, second survey fleet, we are going to keep them where they are, primarily so that we can watch for anybody coming in. Hopefully we don't get shot by missiles, but worst case scenario, we should hopefully see any enemy ships coming in from well outside missile range, and we can just jump through Sol, and that will break any weapons lock. And then we can bring our Quokkas over to the other side of the jump point and set up defensive positions. So that is going to be the option there. But we are over time, so I hope you enjoyed our first taste of actual combat, as much as it was basically kicking puppies, even if they are big, fat, giant, colossal, metallic puppies. So we'll put a break in the episode here and now, and in the next one, we'll see what kind of response we gather from our little alien buddies. We might even go hunting for, because there's probably going to be another gate builder on the Brisbane jump point. It's very likely there's going to be another gate builder on Brisbane jump point, so we might go after. But that's that. So I will see you in the next episode.